Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Growth Show. My name is Mark, and today I'm talking with Ross Savage at KRS Development over in Newport Beach, California. Ross, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so man, you guys are doing some incredible work, as I would imagine is happening in gorgeous Newport Beach. We've seen some photos and just stunning. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the kind of history of KRS and where you guys are at today.
Yeah, I was fortunate to make some really good connections early on in my career. It forced us to grow into what we are today. It was a great opportunity. I fell into this business unexpectedly. I come from a family of construction. My stepdad's an architect. My dad is a general electrical contractor, and then my mom was an accountant, financial controller for a construction company as well. I went to school to be a firefighter. That dream never came true. And so while I was testing, I ended up putting on bags, going to work for my dad as an electrical contractor. And then my mom and stepdad approached me, and they wanted to get into the market of developing here in Orange County. So we started buying R2 lots in Costa Mesa that had potential to develop. We would build back houses and build a portfolio of rental homes. And that was good until the economy started to slow down. So from there, I pivoted. I was able to get my license while we were doing this, and an opportunity fell in my lap to build a custom home for one of my brother's close friends in Newport Beach. And that home opened up a career I had never imagined. Yeah, the rest is kind of history. We built that home in Newport Beach. It's still a great looking home. It's been sold since then. And that home was on Newport Beach Home Tour, which we do 2 home tours with high schools here, Corona Del Mar and Newport Beach. And it allows your product to really be viewed by the community. Also, it helps the charity for the schools. And from there, our brand blew up.
Amazing, man.
Yeah,
Did you grow up in Orange County in the Newport Beach area?
I did. I went to Harborview Elementary and then Corona Del Mar High School. Yeah, my parents were able to relocate us to Newport Beach when I was in like 5th grade. And yes, it was great. It's cool. I never imagined building these homes in this area that I grew up in, but it's really cool to drive through the town now with my kids. And my kids will point out, like, Dad, did you build that house? And did you build that house? And my daughter's favorite question is, how many homes have you built with elevators? So it's fun. It's really fun.
Oh man, I love it. I'm familiar with Orange County. We lived in San Diego for a few years and got up north a little bit. Newport Beach. This is right on the coast. Remind me kind of what part of kind of Orange County this is in. This is Southern Orange County. Is that right?
Yeah, Southern Orange County. We're right above Laguna Beach, and then we're right below like Huntington, Seal Beach area there. We live inside this little bubble. It's a great community here. We have a lot of bayfront homes. Our harbor is very nice. We have iconic surf spots like the Wedge. It was a very localized area for a long time. We're seeing the growth now. Obviously, they've developed all of Newport Coast. And we're seeing a lot of the homes that I grew up around, but we're actually tearing down now. So not a lot of people always ask me, are you guys grading new lots? And none of that is an opportunity here. We're pretty much capped. So we have a majority of our clients are buying homes, we're tearing them down and then building new homes there.
These are high end
Yes.
projects.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're working with, we talk with folks in all different kind of areas and builders out of Aspen and built really high end. It's always interesting talking with kind of the unique kind of characteristics that come with that. There's often a lot of kind of regulation and whatnot. Sometimes it's a long distance process of building. I was talking with a builder recently. It's mostly NDAs, right? I can't even tell you who my client list is, all of them sort of thing. What are some characteristics that come with building just really high end projects? What's it like working with clients at that level and also just, with your subs and your team, and what comes along with that?
For me, I think it's a dream situation. You get into building homes and you get to change that stigma of contractors. We work with great people. They have the ability to make their wildest dreams come true. We're building homes that have over $1 million window and door packages. We're able to just do fun, creative things. And that's what keeps me interested in it. It elevates our business every year because from one home to the next, they just seem to get better and better. And it's people wanting to push the envelope. You're in a competitive environment. These are people that have been very successful in either sports or business ventures, and they tend to have that competitiveness with building their home as well. Like they want to outdo the guy next door, which is great. It's fun for me. It keeps me interested. It keeps my job really fun.
Wow. Wild. And so I saw, taking a look at some of you guys' stuff, and you guys have got an in-house architect. How does that work to have as part of these like really high-end projects that you're doing? Is there a unique kind of team that you need for that? Like an in-house architect?
We don't have an in-house architect. We have architects that we work with quite often.
Okay.
When I started working with my parents, my stepdad was an architect. And then from that, my construction company kind of blossomed. But it does help. Like we have a team that we work with quite often. Riley Klassen is a very famous designer here in Newport Beach. And Eric Olson of Eric Olson Design is an architect that we work with quite a bit. And that team, it's great. Eric and I have a very unique relationship. We've built so many homes together that it's very easy for us to fill the gaps of areas where his plans lack information. We know the direction that he's probably going to go. So we kind of complement each other. And it's been a great situation. And it's just always fun, like working with a team that you can openly talk with. Expectation levels of information that I need to make this build happen are just, they know what we're looking for. And that information gets to us in a timely manner.
Interesting.
The quality of home, I think, is set by the amount of information you get on a contractor's side. If you're building a multi-million-dollar home, if your towel bars, toilet paper holders, accessories do not have framing backing behind them and they're on drywall anchors, to me, that's unacceptable. And the reason that happens is probably lack of information. So these homes, you live in them every day. And if you have children, it's probably the most abused thing that you own is your home. And so if I have kids that are ripping towel bars off the wall because they're mounted on drywall anchors, with the ticket these builds come with, I would be upset.
I believe it. Man. Amazing. And I saw it handled these large projects, but also room addition, ground up, but things as little as a tankless water heater upgrade. You guys are available at all different levels of stuff. Do you have many folks giving you a call and saying, hey, I've got one window I want to install?
Not really now. Since our brand has flourished, I would say 90% of our work for the last 7 years has been new construction or large scale remodels. And large scale remodels, I'm talking like you're not living through it. We're on temp power. We're keeping minimal framing, foundation upgrades, things like that.
Wow. Amazing. And then you guys also offer pre-construction services. So it may include budgeting, scheduling, value engineering, and planning. What does that look like? What's kind of the process of the pre-construction help services you guys offer?
A lot of the homeowners go into this process and they aren't familiar with how to get to groundbreaking. I think contractors have a lot to offer if you can get in the door early on. And it's a commitment a lot of people don't want to make because they're hesitant. We don't know what the budget's going to be. And we'll take a small retainer. And basically that allows me to invest my time to help you value engineers at home. Make sure you have realistic budgets coming together. You'll get people that'll go down the road with an architect and they have a budget of 1.2 million. And then I'll come in and meet with them. They've gone through structural engineering. They've met with designers. They have their heart set on designs. And I can look at the package put together and know this is like a $2.2 million remodel. By the time we look at this window package that you have your heart set on. And so that's where it helps like to keep us all in line. And also let homeowners know the schedule. I get phone calls all the time. How long will it take to break ground on a new home if we were to close on this lot in 2 weeks? And it's an unanswerable question because there's so many variables. Like, how long is it going to take for an architect to propose a floor plan that you love? And you want to make that commitment on a floor plan that you absolutely love before it goes to structural engineering. Because otherwise you're investing money to have something engineered that potentially you're like, okay, this is a placeholder. It's a placeholder until you get that second bill for the red lines and revisions of moving things. So that's where our services early on, I think, are beneficial to a homeowner, is letting them know to save you money and time. Make sure that you're actually digging into what we're setting into motion and that you have your heart set on it. A lot of people don't realize that the expectation of a contractor is that when we get handed a set of plans to build to, my expectation is that all of this has been blessed by the homeowner. They know the size of their sauna. They know if that there's a cold plunge and where it's going to be located. They know the size of their closet. They know the symmetry that they have in their master where the fireplace is going. And my expectation is we get in and we're going to build to a set of plans. Some scenarios where people haven't been educated enough on the process, they want to walk during framing and say, hey, can we move this wall a little bit? And they don't know the consequences of what that could trigger. You know,
Want to push this whole thing back 4 months.
Right. I'm not a contractor that wants to say no. We're here to build a home that you have your heart set on. So I'm here to tell you, yeah, we can do it. But with that, I want to educate you on what that takes to accommodate. That means going back for revisions with structural engineer. That means time at the city. That means a potential holdup on the job that we don't see, maybe 2 weeks that framers aren't actively proceeding. And then that rolls into construction carry. And then that pushes schedule further than maybe it just doesn't affect the framing contractor. Because if the framing contractor gets pushed back, now my mechanical, electrical, and plumbing contractors might not be available when we scheduled them to be in 2 weeks. And it's all working with homeowners and being upfront about the potentials.
Amazing. This is awesome. Ross, regarding, we talk to folks at all, talk with builders doing, like I say, so many different levels of construction. And sometimes folks start out doing time and materials, and then they got mid different career doing kind of quotes. And then I've even heard had a builder building a $30 million remodel at the top of Tiburon Island in the Bay. And, it was just, it's like time and material. What didn't even quote it. It's like, we're just taking a percentage off the top of the job. It's 30 and 10% on this thing. You guys have got your reputation. You guys have been around forever and are doing incredible work. I can just imagine the business is built essentially all on referrals or almost completely on referrals.
Yeah.
Do you guys quote jobs? Is it time and materials?
It's competitive here. There are not a lot. There's probably a handful of really good builders that have a great reputation around here. So it's competitive. We do need to go to bid. There are times that we get selected early on, and some of them have a different formula than we do. We're a cost plus contractor, and that allows everything to be transparent and open book. So we will go to bid. Obviously, early on, sometimes there is not a ton of information. So I can bid what we can see. We get a 2-dimensional floor plan, and I can guess cabinetry wise. We'll ask select questions like, are we going stain grade throughout, or should I price this select stain grade like kitchen, master, powder, maybe a den room and the theater room, and then everything else will incorporate in paint grade, because a lot of times we don't have those working drawings or a full design package at that time. So we'll go heavy on allowances just so people know what it's going to take to actually get to move-in day. The last thing you want to do is set someone's expectation. Hey, we're going to build this thing for $7 million. And then you get budget creep and it's 9 to 11 by the time you finish with allowances for slab material, tile, decorative lighting, interior plaster. There's a lot of variables that we don't have the information on. So we'll put a pretty extensive budget together, and then everything that we can hard bid, from like drywall, framing, structural steel, foundation, HVAC, fire sprinklers, all of that gets compiled into a budget that you'll get all the backup. So you know who we're using, what's included. And then we just have our flat markup on that. And then we have a supervision fee. And then we charge a percentage for insurance as well.
Amazing. Incredible. I mean, what does the future look like for you? You've got a super stable business. You've had this forever. You got your thing absolutely down. Are you guys like we're right where we want to be regarding growth, or are you still thinking about growing 10, 20% a year?
That's a tough question to answer. I enjoy the business at the level it's at now. I really enjoy being in the field. That's what I was passionate about. I like the quality control aspect. I like seeing what's going on. I like talking with my subcontractors. I think you build that relationship and that respect level by not just being the office GC. So right now I enjoy the business at this level. We've grown obviously over the last 10 years quite a bit, but our growth has been not in so much more projects, but in better projects. So we were building your 3,500 to 5,000 square foot home. And now the majority of our work is getting into the 7 to 10,000 square foot range. And we're doing subterranean basements, and the budgets are getting bigger on these projects. They're wanting to go all steel windows and doors. We're pushing the architectural limits a little bit on these homes. And so that's what I've always focused on is I don't want to be the biggest and have a ton of work. I just want to have better work. I want to get to that level of clients that want that personal relationship with their builder. We don't just sign you up, assign you to a project manager, and then that's the last of me other than billing, checking in on change orders. So I like to be present on meetings and talk about things that are fun. The financial aspect of it is obviously what keeps the business going, but probably my least favorite thing to work on and discuss. I like to get on the personal level with these clients, just get excited in the field about this home that they're building.
Dude, what a story. Amazing. I've been taking feverish notes here. We talked about just kind of history. You think about being a firefighter, this family business, mom and stepdad, being a part of it all and started developing lots. The finance, 2008 came along, and which I assume was kind of the change there, and then moved into building houses just full time, and they're just gorgeous projects. Yeah, I'm a builder from back in the day, and never really broke into these higher levels that a lot of amazing builders I talk with now. But certainly, the stuff that you're doing here has always been just fascinating. Who builds these incredible houses? Right?
Thank you. Yeah,
it's you and your crew, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of what keeps me interested. I enjoyed the challenge, like with these homes when we push the envelope on these architecturally amazing homes, like that you have to be creative. Every detail isn't figured out. There's waterproofing issues, there's structural issues, there's staging issues. We're building massive homes on really tight lots, and Newport Beach is a really small community, and our signs are up throughout, and we have to keep the peace with the neighbors because like right now we're in a neighborhood. I'm building a home on one street, and one house over on the other street behind us, we're grading for another home. And we have a big impact in that neighborhood. And the last thing I want is every neighbor in that neighborhood being like, these guys are terrible. So you have to manage your people and let them know, hey, be respectful to the neighbors. Be courteous on where you're thinking of parking. And if it's trash day, let's try to limit how many vehicles we have here today and try and soften the impact. Nobody's excited about a home going up next door. Our homeowners are excited about it, but that's about it. And it doesn't matter if even the neighbor built and finished 3 months ago. They're done with construction and that you're starting. And we see that quite often, and I try and just keep the peace. I know they built a new home. They went through it. Everybody was probably sour with them. And I want to make sure that we're not just killing them throughout this process.
That's amazing, man. Being a diplomatic and sensitive to that in the neighborhoods. I love it. Ross, if folks are in Newport Beach, if they're Orange County, I want to talk with you guys about a project they have, or even just hear some of your ideas around kind of dealing with some of the unique issues you guys have dealt with over the decades. What are a couple of good ways to get in touch with you guys?
The best, probably email info@krsdevelopment.com. We're very active on Instagram at KRS Development Inc. You can see a lot of our work there. And it's funny, everybody's like, hey, all your phone numbers on your website and everything, it goes to my direct line. And we try and make it a really fun process.
Love it. Man, thank you so much for taking your time today. This is just fantastic. It's just a lot of just awesome information about building at the level that you guys are doing, which is rare and unique. And it's just awesome. Good. I've been on KRSDevelopment.com a lot and seeing the beautiful work that Ross and the team do. And I'd suggest you go over there and take a look at what they're doing, just to even be inspired. So, Ross, thank you for taking your time today. And we'd love to have you on at some point in the future.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Take care. All right.
Thank you.